Hello, I'm David Haddad. Joining me today is North Hill's newest head coach, Pat Carey. Mr. Carey, how are you?
Great, David. How are you?
I'm good. Now, what was your reaction finding out that you would be only the second coach in the North Hills football program in 36 years?
I was thrilled. This has been a long time coming. I've been preparing for this for a long time, but it's actually been somewhat overwhelming, the support that since I've been named the head coach, the support of people in the school and in the community have shown. It's been great.
Now, how long have you been in some way part of the program as a player, coach, or assistant?
As a coach, it's been 20 years that I've been coaching, 15 of those as the defensive coach. And then I played in the late 80s for 3 years, from 85 to 87.
You were part of the national champions team?
Yes, the team that is best known for its that's unscored upon defense in the 1987 year.
That was all you?
Partially, David. One of 11.
You were a cornerback, right?
I was a cornerback on defense, and I played running back on offense.
Now, how do you think all that experience will help you as the head coach?
I think just knowing the program, one as a player and then coming on as a coach, and then knowing what the expectations have been over the years, it's important. And to know the community and the people in the community and how our kids view football is important.
Now, what is unique about the program today that was not around in the late 80s when you played or the early 90s when you started coaching?
Well, overall, I think the competition is greater, if you will, from top to bottom. There were some good teams back in the time that I played, but us being a really good team, and then I think there's more parity from top to bottom in our league, and it's the coaching is great from top to bottom, and it makes it difficult to get into the playoffs and succeed.
How do you think North Hills has risen to that challenge?
Well, year in and year out, I believe that Coach McCurry has set expectations for this team to go out and compete no matter who the opponent, and to make the playoffs and to try to make a deep run into the playoffs. And it will be my goal to maintain those standards as a head coach.
Now, how would you describe your relationship with Coach McCurry?
Coach McCurry has been a mentor to me, first as a player and now as a coach. It's been a long time coming. I spent 20 years on his staff, so he and I are very close. It was a sad day for me to see him step aside, but certainly I'm excited to take over and follow in his footsteps.
Your son is named Jack. Any correlation there?
Maybe. No, my grandfather's name was Jack, and he's named after him.
Oh, okay. How important is this program to the community?
I believe it's very important. Friday night at Monterelli is a big deal. It's an event, and that's one of my goals, is to maintain, again, the expectations, but then also to put a product out there that people in the community want to come out and support. And it's exciting. Friday nights are great at Monterelli, and I hope that we can continue that tradition.
What changes do you plan on carrying out, and you can elaborate as much or as little as you want, in your first couple years as head coach?
Well, there are subtle changes, I believe. There's a blueprint that Coach McCurry has used for years, and it's been successful. It's sort of like buying a house off of Coach McCurry. The foundation of that house is going to remain the same. I'm going to paint some rooms and change the windows and so forth. So I believe a lot of things will look the same. Some of my expectations may be a bit different than his, but again, when you have a tradition like the one that Coach has built, I don't think you want to blow that whole thing up. You want to take the things that have worked for us in the past and then continue. And I believe there's some excitement around the program with the coaching change and the things that have gone on. So I'll try to build off of that.
Now, Coach McCurry made the offensive play calls, correct?
He did.
Who will be replacing him as the offensive coordinator?
Well, one thing that I'm fortunate to have are 4 or 5 coaches in the building that are going to help and support me in this process. So it won't be just my deal. Those guys will be a big support to me, and Coach Jim Cassandra will be the guy that I'll lean on the offensive side of the ball, along with Mr. Shoppy and Mr. Hand. Together, it will be a team effort that will come together with an offensive game plan. Some things will look the same and some different. There are things that we do really well and have done well over the years, and some new ideas that we'll add to that.
Are you going to make any changes to the playbook? Because we used to run the Sally a couple years ago, then Taylor Schmidt came along as a junior and we kind of switched it to more of a spread?
It's hard to say. First thing we need to do is evaluate our talent and our players and see what players can fit to a scheme. We did graduate a lot of our skilled players, if you will. So it's going to be our job to evaluate this talent, figure out which guys can play, and then try to make a scheme that will make them most successful. As a defensive coach, I do want to run the ball first will be my motto, and then we'll also do a lot of play action. And normally for North Hills, we'll have a quarterback that can run the ball. So I would anticipate an offense that would fit some of the newer things that the Kaepernicks of the world are doing, where they're running the ball and keeping it. So I'm excited to kind of see what that talent, who rises from that talent, and then we'll design a scheme to fit that personnel.
Now, speaking of your players, what are your expectations for your players on and off the field?
I have high expectations. I'm very proud to have been a graduate of North Hills. I'm very proud to be a teacher. I live in the district. The expectations for the guys on and off the field will be to be good people. Not only good football players, but be respectable in the community and the school. And it's something that I believe our guys will buy into, and it's something that we'll work on every day.
What are the most challenging obstacles facing our program this upcoming 2013 year, with losing a couple seniors, the regime change?
Well, it will be a challenge. Anytime you take on a new position, it will be a challenge for me to kind of fit into that position, into that role as the head coach. I've been doing this a long time, so I don't see that being a big transition. I think that, again, with the help of the staff members, I believe it can make this transition much easier. As far as obstacles that we may face, we did graduate a lot of our skill players. I believe that we have some skill players coming back that are capable, but they're going to have to grow and gain some experience quickly, because we have a strong group of linemen that are returning. And for us, I believe it's going to be getting this thing started in March and again, evaluating those players and giving them the opportunity to perform, and then they need to grow up pretty quickly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we're only losing 2 starting offensive linemen, including tight end.
You're right. Andrew Ungerman will graduate, and so will Matt Gross. So we have some guys that have subbed in that line throughout the year. So we're comfortable with our linemen. We have some schemes that will change a little bit. We have a tight end in Corey Bopp who's back, so I believe the strength of our team will be that offensive front.
I know there's a question on the minds of a lot of North Hills faithful, and it has been for quite a long time. How do you plan to maintain North Hills' status as a Quad A football program?
Well, it's not easy, but I can say that football is important at North Hills. I think our kids take it serious. A lot of the kids in this school come out for the team and perform well for us. So again, it's we don't really compare the size of their graduating class. It's just to go out there on Friday nights and compete. And again, the expectations we have as a program will remain the same, and it's something that our kids again that buy into that idea that no matter who the opponent, we're going to go out there and compete. And we have tough kids who buy into that, and I think that's where we'll hang our hat.
And last question, and this is a big one. How do you plan on striking back against our heated rivals, the North Allegheny Tigers? They've had us 2 years in a row now. How do you feel about that?
It's difficult. They are now 3-time WPL champions, have won the state, so it's difficult. But again, 2 years ago, we were in the game with them till late in the game, had some success. The year before that, we did beat them at our place. So it's a rivalry. Again, we always throw out the records when we play that team. It's huge for us. It will remain a rivalry. We believe that we have a chance to compete with those guys every year, and that's what one of our big goals will be. And when we work out in the off season and we strive to better our program and our team, NA is always on our mind, as I'm sure we are on theirs. So it will remain a great rivalry. We hope to get the better end of it sometime soon.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I know things have gotten a little bit busier in your neck of the woods, and I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it, David. Thanks.
Thank you.